Have you ever stopped to think about how that cat video just shows up on your phone? Or how you can be video chatting with someone literally on the other side of the planet? Well, it's not magic, but it's close. It's all about computer networking. And we're going to pull back the curtain on this invisible world, starting with the most fundamental question there is.
Seriously, let's start right here. Forget about the internet. Forget about Wi-Fi. Forget everything. Just picture two computers sitting in a room. How in the world do you get them to even acknowledge each other, let alone have a conversation?
Well, to answer that, you have to go back to the very first building block. We're talking about going from total silence and isolation to that first, tiny spark of a connection.
And that very first step, it's a link. You can think of it like a tiny highway for information. It could be a real physical cable that you plug in, or it could be a wireless signal, like Wi-Fi. The goal is exactly the same. Create a path so these little digital messages, these packets of data, can travel from one machine to the other. And just like that, once you have that link, boom, you've officially created a computer network. It's really that simple. By connecting just two or more computers, they stop being these lonely islands and start working together to do something really important: share resources. And what are we sharing? Well, this is the really cool practical stuff. We're talking about sending a file to a printer without having to plug directly into it, or letting everyone in your house use the same internet connection, or of course sending a quick chat to a friend. This is the whole reason we bother with networking in the first place.
Okay, so connecting two computers? Easy enough. But let's be real, our world is a lot more crowded than that. So let's scale this up and see what happens when you want to get a much bigger conversation going.
Yeah, this is where things get messy fast. Imagine you have 10 computers. If you tried to connect every single one to every single other one with a separate wire, you'd have a complete and total nightmare of cables. It's just not going to work. We obviously need a smarter way to handle this.
And that smarter way is a nifty little device called a switch. And I absolutely love this analogy of a moderator. See, instead of every computer yelling at once, they send their message to the switch. The switch then looks at the message, sees who it's for, and intelligently passes it along only to that specific computer. It's like a polite traffic cop for your local group, keeping everything moving smoothly.
So, a switch is fantastic for keeping one conversation organized, like, say, all the computers in your house or in one office. But what happens when one group needs to talk to a different group? What if your office in one city needs to send information to an office in another?
For that, you need a router. Okay, if the switch is your local moderator, the router is the big-time ambassador between different networks. It's the device that knows how to send your data out from your local group to other groups. And most importantly, it's your gateway to the biggest network of all, the internet.
So this idea of different scales, from your small local group to this massive global connection, is a really key concept. So let's just quickly put a name to the two main types of networks that you deal with every single day.
All right, so the network inside your home, the one connecting your phone, your laptop, your TV, that's a LAN, a local area network. It's small and confined. But the moment you go to a website, you're tapping into a WAN, a wide area network. And the internet is the ultimate WAN, right? It's the network that connects millions and millions of LANs all over the world. Your router is that crucial bridge between your private little LAN and the huge public WAN.
So, we've got the basic pieces: links, switches, routers. We've got the basic types: LANs and WANs. But so what? Why does any of this actually matter to you? Well, it matters because this invisible system is pretty much running your entire life.
No, really, think about it. When you're streaming a movie, your request goes from your LAN through your router across the global WAN to some server thousands of miles away. And then all that data comes flying back in seconds. Online shopping, working from home, video calls, it all depends on these fundamental ideas working perfectly. It's the quiet engine powering our entire modern world.
And the sheer scale of this is just mind-blowing. We're not talking about a few million devices or even a few billion. The current estimate is that there are over 50 billion devices connected to the internet. From your watch to your car, they're all part of this one massive global conversation.
Which really brings us to a pretty amazing thought. We've built this incredible thing, this global web that connects almost everything and everyone. The foundations are there, so the big question now isn't how we connect, but what we decide to do with all this connection. What's the next big idea we build on top of it all? Thanks for digging into this with me.